And we are live.
Hello,
everybody.
Hey.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah.
So glad everybody's back. Everybody had a good Thanksgiving?
Fabulous.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I understand that you all tried to hook up with me last time and it didn't work.
Yes, we did.
But guess what? Hear me.
Yeah. Not only did it not work, it did not work.
Yeah, I don't think Bid and Dante's did without
Dante.
Without Dante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, me. Oh, so look at the weather.
Yeah, hear me. I'm here.
Yeah. So welcome. Thank you for making it into Dante's Den this evening.
You're very welcome. Please feel free to enter Dante's Den whenever you would like.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Well, we are in Dante's Den.
Yeah.
We are so excited because 2022 is shaping up to be a fantastic year for A Dante Production. Yes. And so my name is L.D. Robinson, and I'm the owner of Ladero Design Works. I am here with Miss Donna Banks, who is the founder of F.R.E.S.H Book Festival. And of course, we're here with the Den man himself, Mr. Chauncey Dunham, who is the owner of A Dante Production.
Hey.
So, Mr. C.
Yes.
We want to hear all about 2022. What is happening in 2022?
What's not happening?
What's not happening?
Well, let me say this. First, I would like to say to the two of you, thank you for developing the intersection. For people that don't know what the intersection is, it's 3 different companies doing 3 different things, hitting an intersection and making it work for everybody.
Yes.
And I love it. I am overjoyed with what is going on. For 2022, and let me explain something.
We'd like seeing more of you.
Yes.
Why you want to see more of me?
Yeah, you know.
Well, let me say this. Visionaries is a very interesting thing anyway.
Yeah.
So for me to work with other visionaries, that ain't good at all.
Yes, it is wonderful.
Because it's creative minds working together. There are times when the 3 of us don't agree on a product, but we do agree on the development of a product. And so I say that as a lead-in, and I won't say what it is. For 2022, we have Valentine's Day, and we are developing a product, Flo Logan. And that's a product that we're developing. And then behind that, that's February, that's Valentine's Day. Behind that, we're playing with March and April. And we have a product that's already developed, which is Lois Williams.
Right. Lois.
And we're doing Bank and Blues Club. And we love Bank and Blues Club in Daytona Beach.
Yes.
And then behind that, hopefully, we're swinging into the summer music session for Daytona Beach. Now take that and I'll go backward.
Okay.
Something is occurring that I'm not at liberty to have a full-scale conversation, but I'll back into it this way. The anniversary of Dante in Florida is March.
Yeah.
I've been chasing the divas of jazz for 2 years. Guess what? My chasing has come to an end. I have them. So for our anniversary, we're going to do the divas of jazz in March. And if you ladies understand what March is Women's History Month.
Yeah.
So not only have I got a jazz band that's all women, I'm doing it in Women's History Month, and my mistress of ceremony is a lady that I love dearly. And I really hate to reveal who it is this early. However, Donna Graybanks is she.
Yay. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
And I'm just looking forward to, I sent out an email for those that are on the email list, talking about the various women, Sojourner Banks, Rosa Parks, Lance Bottoms,
So many.
It's just so many people, because we're going to do some very interesting things. And then in the middle of that, something I'm not ready to talk about yet is the city of Ormond Beach, Florida has suggested that I do a music weekend, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
In Ormond Beach, Florida. So right now, I'm on the drawing boards trying to put all of that together. So I say all of that to say, if you look at January, I have F.R.E.S.H book, and I am totally in the F.R.E.S.H book. And if you look at February, I got Valentine's Day. March, I got the anniversary. April, I have a whole bunch of stuff, including Ormond Beach. In June, we go into Daytona Beach. So I say all of that to you, LD, to say the package is full. We got a lot going on. And sleep is a commodity that I don't get a lot of. I get a lot of wine, but we got a lot going on.
Well, I think coming up in 2022, I think the impetus is to make sure that we have music in the air in every city that we can be in, right? So if that means Deltona, that means Ormond, that means Daytona, that means the land, wherever we can put our tentacles into. Because really, when you talk about music, you talk about media, you talk about literacy, it's all a part of a package. And we just cannot wait to spread out and make sure that people are aware of what we do, what we bring to the table, and the music that Dante Productions puts together is far beyond anything that I know of that's out there right now. So I thank you for having the vision to understand that music is not just rap. It is jazz. It is R&B. It is doo-wop. It is soulful. It is Christian. And you have all that in your entourage. And we certainly appreciate the fact that you have it. So.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Last year was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We haven't finished the year, but we had a fantastic debut of Jazz in the Midtown Studio.
Yes.
And that was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
In our pre-recorded interview, we talked about how passionate the performers were. It was Chris Clark and friends, and like every single one of them, from Chris on keys to Jeff on sax, I think it's Thomas on the bass, profundo, as Chris tells me. That's a big profundo, and Dimas on drums. Everyone was just fantastic.
Blew us out of the water.
It really
especially the bass player. Let's just say he walks in. He looks like a math teacher. Right?
Yes.
And so we're all saying, So what are you going to do?
When he took off that jacket, he went to
Yes.
Then he took off his jacket, and that was the end of that. Any angst you had in your head was
Yes.
completely gone. It's
The
completely,
fingers went to flying. I
oh
mean,
my
his hair was flying. His fingers are flying.
my.
It was
Yeah,
funny.
I
It was
think several
fantastic.
people said, "Donna, who's that?" I said, "I think he's the bass player." It looks like a math teacher. But let me tell you, math and music all to go together. So if he
Absolutely.
was a math teacher in one time in his life, he turned that math into music on that bass, and he was fabulous. So everybody was fabulous, but I think he was the one that everybody kind of looked at side eye. Oh my God, what is he gonna do? And he was masterful. Is all I can say. Masterful.
Masterful. I think that's the right word to use.
Well,
Masterful.
if you look at it, I've been watching Chris over the past 3 years. Now I understand that Chris's bachelor's is from Berkeley and his master's from Juilliard,
Right.
which is heavy within itself.
Yeah. Waitful.
But I watch Chris in his climbing of the ladder,
Hmm.
and he is becoming more masterful than anybody I've ever seen. He climbs the ladder methodically. He and I talk almost every day. So not only is it about music, it's about the legal stuff and making sure that everybody is taken care of in a legal manner.
Right.
And Chris is just one dynamite individual. But then I have to flip to all of them.
Yeah.
So if you look at everybody, Daphne is across the board.
Right.
She went to universities and just studied music. Sherry is across the board because she's learning productions. So I look at everybody that we have. Flo is doing movies.
Right.
She has written a movie. So I look at everybody we have, and I feel very blessed. I really do, because the cast that we have in front of the camera is outstanding. And let me look at the cast behind the camera.
Right.
We got Donna.
Well, LD more than me.
We got LD. we have James. We have people that pull strings that the outside world doesn't know. Like I tell everybody, I got 57 moving parts.
Yes.
And out of 57 moving parts, the oil that we use generates a well-oiled machine.
Mm.
Go ahead, LD. I'm sorry. I don't know why I went there.
Well, it takes a lot to get a show going, right? It's
It
not a
does.
matter of setting up things. In the sense of, I should say, it's not a matter of just showing up and it'll happen. There are a lot of things that go into making a production, and making sure that not only is the music right, but the atmosphere is right. And so we saw that come off really well at Jazz in the Midtown Studio. I mean, the atmosphere was positively clubbish in the sense of jazz supper club kind of deal.
Right.
Everything from the very tasteful food that was served prior to the show, to the lighting in the studio. Emmanuel had just had the lighting just right. All of that went to make a great production, which, obviously that helps the artists get into the mood of what they're about to do. And it worked extremely well because our great coordinator, Donna, sort of puts all those pieces and parts together for us to make sure, we don't miss things. And she's not afraid to change it at the last minute if she doesn't think it works.
We know that.
Yeah.
Well, we want it to be right. We're working in the spirit of excellence, right? So when it can't be excellent, we want to get close.
certainly
If
want to
that
be close.
yeah, if that means moving a table, if that means moving a light, if that means, taking 5 more minutes to make it right, then I would rather we do that than for it to be completely wrong. So, and I like to be timely. I'm a
Yes.
real proponent of time because time is one of those things that it's a commodity that you can't get back.
You don't get back. Once spent. It's like I like those 2 years of mine back, please.
Yeah, right. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. So we like to be in the spirit of excellence. We like to be timely and we
Yes.
like to have quality. And all that takes work from all of us. It doesn't just happen, you know, by me, because if you're late, then things fall apart, right?
Hmm.
So everybody has to be on time and make sure that things run like a well-oiled machine, like you said earlier. And shout out to Sante Kings of Daytona Beach, who fed us royally. So thank you very, very much. And they will do that again for us in the very near future. Listen, all we want is good music, quality, excellence, and a team that works together for all that to happen.
Hmm.
Well,
For a
if
product.
you
At the end
if
of the
you
day, a product that we can all be proud of,
Yeah.
whether it's from, you know, it could be a simple slide, but just making sure that it works, that the flyer works, that the media works, that the communication out works. Um, it could be changing the background on an invitation to make sure it works. And conveys the message, because we have different methods for things, but our the messaging, it matters.
Right.
Whether people get it, the messaging matters. And the more and more we do, the more and more we realize, okay, we can use that, we need to put that to the side, we can say it like this, we can do
Yeah.
it like that. All those things work together for us.
And I think Chauncey
yeah,
lets us understand that he's not the be all to end all, right? He
Hmm.
understands that we all have a lane. And so even though he's the head of this
Hmm.
train, right? He understands that the caboose is very important, right? And so, and that's what I like about the team. Listen, I don't know everything about media. I don't even listen. I don't plan to know everything about media, and I don't know everything about music. That's your lane, but I know what literacy is and what it looks like and what it feels like, right? So
Hmm.
if the media isn't right for me, you all have to understand that that's something that I do every day, and you don't take it for granted or get upset when this a change has to be made. I don't get upset when Chauncey says, "Listen, Donna, we're going to do it this way for music." That's you.
Hmm.
If you tell me, LD, Donna, it's got to be this way because of da 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 da, market, media, making it happen, then we all have to appreciate our gifts. And I think that's what I really like about this team is that we appreciate the gifts that we bring. And it's not an afterthought, right? When
Yeah,
things are brought together. So,
I think I appreciate that as well.
yeah.
Mr. C, so I have a
yes,
question for you.
yeah.
Valentine's Day. Where is this
Ooh,
show going to be? The Valentine's Day special.
In Daytona Beach at a boutique theater called Cinematique. And what we're doing is we have a young lady that does music and she does movies. She is well known in Southern Florida,
mm-hmm.
but in this area, she's just not well known. So I decided to bring her up here. Her name is Flo Logan. And I decided to bring her up here and try to expose her talent to this area. So that's what we're doing in February. March is my pride month. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I love me some March. March is our anniversary. When I first came to Florida, I did not know Donna. I did not know LD. To be honest, I didn't know anybody. And we went out on a string to make something happen to let the people in Florida know that there's a lot of raw talent out here.
Mm-hmm.
And March is our 4th anniversary to show that there was talent out here.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier, I've been chasing the divas for years because I knew I was going to get them. They were not going to get away from me. Therefore, in March, we have Divas of Jazz, and a lot of people have heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have not seen them because they've done a lot of West Coast stuff. The keyboard player did keyboard for Luther
Mm-hmm.
Vandross.
Right.
She also did keyboard for Prince. And, I'm not going to even go through the
The last.
history. I mean, you can read it online. I'm not going to go through that. But we have them. We are very proud to have them, but we have them. Then we move out of March and we move into April and we move into Lois Williams. I'm not going to do that because Banking Blues is probably going to be sold out anyway that day. Because Lois when she brings a crowd, she brings a crowd. So we got a lot of stuff going. The one thing I'd like to do is thank both of you.
Thank you.
There's a lot of stuff going on. The three of us are on the phone 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times a day. And there are times when we have to talk each other off the cliff. And I thank you for an opportunity to work with you. I don't want the outside world to feel that the three of us run the whole world. We don't. There are 54 moving parts, and everybody plays a part.
Yes.
And we are very grateful for the part that they play. LD hits me many times with, what are we going to do about so-and-so? And I'm like, LD, don't do that to me today. I ain't ready for it. So we do a lot, but, every wheel has a hub, and every wheel has some spokes in that hub, some moving parts. So I thank you all for helping me to keep my brain together. And there are a lot of times I wake up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and say, here's what we're going to do. But by 7 or 8 o'clock, with Donna's 5 minutes after 10, I call and say, here's what I came up with. And she said, go back to sleep. So, I understand. And, it's just wonderful having you all. I call LD at 8:05, and I'm not even going to tell you about that response. But anyway, thank you all.
Well, let me ask you two before we go.
Sure.
Did you envision the journey that has happened in the last 4 years? I know ULD, we have put, Chauncey and I have put you in places media and marketing wise that you have never been. And Chauncey, and I'm sure when you came here to retire, right? That didn't happen.
That's true.
So now that this journey, 4-year journey, has progressed, did you see that coming? Did you see it coming?
No. I really came to Florida to retire. There was a lady and her husband that I knew for years. And I knew they lived in Florida. I didn't know they lived in this area. And she asked me, how do you like living in Florida? And I said, I'm going to pack up and go back. I'm bored. And she said, why are you bored? I said, because there's nothing to do. She said, don't complain about it. Do something about it.
Right.
I did. My first 2 attempts were both failures. And I met other people that said, you don't have to fail if you do some other things can succeed. And then, being in a new city,
It's hard.
it's hard. You have to learn your way around. Then I started learning who to be around, who to talk to, and who was there that was influential. Donna. Therefore, it was a hard road. It really
Yeah.
was. Not only was it hard, it was painful. Very painful.
And expensive.
Oh, if I call James Womack tonight and say, James, how much money have we spent over the last 4 years just trying to get talent where we wanted them to be? I'm sure we've talked about $20,000-$30,000.
Easy.
A little easy. But guess what? We're there now. We are there now. And it's not how much was wasted. We are at a point now as to how much can be gained.
Right.
And with you two, stay in your own lane is a very important statement.
It is.
LD does a job with marketing. Sometimes I just open my mouth and say, I don't know how you did that. Right. Donna, you tiptoe through the political tulips.
Yeah.
I throw somebody under the bus in a heartbeat. Hey, you screwed up. I'm gonna tell you screwed up.
Certainly a gift she has.
And I really appreciate the fact that I have partners that know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and keep me out of trouble.
Yeah.
So I hope I answered your question, but it's been wonderful. It's been absolutely wonderful.
LD?
I'd have to agree with Chauncey. I certainly didn't see this coming at all. The two of you knew the transition that I've made career wise in the last 5 years. We happened to meet each other because I started doing your websites based on referrals. And that transformed itself. I started doing websites as a business because I was doing my own for the publishing company, Ladero Press.
Mm-hmm.
And people saw that and it's like, well, do you do that? And that literally is how Ladero Design Works came to fruition. It was birthed out of my own necessity of being able to take care of my own social media and my own websites for Ladero Press. I did a couple of other websites on the side, but it wasn't a business. To now, look into my my partner account and see a list of sites. I'm thankful.
Yeah. And then so listen, and we've all expanded our wings, right? And and Dante, A Dante Production is not going to do anything but soar in 2022, and we're going to be part of the Eagle's wings. I'm just going. Hold on.
Just mount up.
Hold on. You're just gonna hold on. You know.
I think
I didn't see it coming.
So fantastic.
Right.
We see it even on the F.R.E.S.H side. Yeah. We see the expansion of F.R.E.S.H, and it's wonderful to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. Everything counts. When you're talking about getting a festival together, how people purchase, how they're able to do things, how things look. All of that comes together, and being able to understand a client's requirements, right. Whether it's about a music festival, a concert that's happening, or whether it's about a 3-day long film and book festival. All of those have each of those has different elements, but there are still the same principles that are there. We need people to know that this event is taking place. We need to know where it's taking place, how much it costs, how do they pay for it, and how do we get it there and tell people, even after it takes place, how
Right.
wonderful it was.
And how everybody goes to London in September because we're all going.
Yes,
We claiming it.
I'm ready.
Claiming it. And so yeah, so 2022. I am totally secure that the universe will take care of us. I just feel it in my
Yes.
bones. I have no, what they say, that the God does not give you the spirit of fear. I have no fear.
Mm-mm.
It's just gonna happen.
Well,
Just
if
because of you
if you
guys.
look at it, and I'll talk about F.R.E.H. When I met the F.R.E.H. environment, I didn't know what it was. I didn't. But if you look at it, I have been exposed, and I had a conversation today. I've been exposed to college graduates. They could not fill out a form, an application,
Right.
who could not do a resume.
Right.
So I took that and I linked it with what F.R.E.H. is trying to do.
Yes.
We as a people don't understand those that can't read or those that can't retain. You can read something, but if you can't retain it, what good is it?
Comprehension is
Or,
important.
or comprehend.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
when the test that we used to take as students, you had a part that was reading and comprehension,
Right.
Thank
because
you.
there are people who could read but couldn't comprehend. And really, when F.R.E.H. says that literacy is a legacy,
It is.
it encompasses all of that, not just reading, but ensuring that we literacy involves, being able to comprehend what is put before you. What do terms mean? If you don't know what it means, do you know how to go find out what that term means?
Hey,
These days it's very different. When I would read something as a foreign language student, I would have to go pick up my French dictionary or one of my French books, for example, or one of my
Right.
Italian books. Now you can just ask Google,
Right.
what does this mean?
are
There's
you
no
trying to
reason. There's no
wait a minute?
reason.
There's no
Doc,
reason.
are you trying to tell us you read 5 languages?
Oh,
No,
right.
I will say that I do. My undergrad is in three languages: French, Spanish, and Italian.
But
I
you know
speak
what?
English, and I'm learning Korean via Netflix.
Let me
And
say this.
Chauncey and I speak English and ghettoese.
You know what?
I
No,
speak I speak
you know,
Ebonics too.
I don't agree with that. I speak ghettoese first and then English. But I'll say this, LD, and I'll say this, Donna. It is so refreshing. It is really refreshing to deal with adults
Yeah.
that have a vision. We're going somewhere.
Yeah.
We're trying to help people that don't have what it takes to get where they're going.
Yeah.
And because you know what? I can sit home and watch television all day and be totally comfortable. But it is a vision that I have to help others. Now that I'm in the Florida area, now that I'm in the Daytona area, and everybody don't understand this, I now have a vested interest. Therefore, I got to do what I got to do. You know what? Those that don't like what I do I care? No, I really don't.
Yeah.
Because I can afford, and that's not a money thing. I can afford to relax and rest and just do what I do.
Yeah, well, you're not doing that. So why are you saying?
You're gonna be too busy.
Take that out of your vocabulary.
Yeah, next year you're gonna be too busy.
Right.
And
I'm
Donna
not,
and
I'm
I
not,
won't,
I
Donna
know
and I
I can
will
sit
not
up if I
let you
want to, but
rest
that's
on
not
your
gonna happen.
laurels.
I'm not dealing with that. You know.
I
I
can
think
sit up if I want to.
one of the important things that we've certainly seen from particularly just the fashioning of um our relationships, as Chauncey said, the intersection of these different businesses with different focuses, is that it helps us to help people to understand that you can have a dream and you have a vision, but it takes effort, and it doesn't happen overnight. And if it happens overnight, it probably takes a whole lot more to maintain it, because you may not have a lot of lessons in there, right?
Right.
And so you're going to learn those lessons warp speed, whereas Fresh is in its 11th year. A Dante is in its 4th year in Florida. You had a Dante production before. Ladero Design Works is, a year on, a year officially, doing, just occasional side gig here. But Ladero Press is 4 years in, almost 5 years next year. And it takes time.
It
You got to be
does.
willing to learn your lessons along the way,
Mhm.
making sure that when you make mistakes, you put the marker in the ground that this was a mistake. I should have done that. I had a couple of those last year.
Yeah, yeah.
This year, like, maybe I should have done that. The lessons were great, and then you take the successes and you celebrate them. And I'm learning more and more about not spending so much time on the mistakes with the vision and the dream coming to fruition. Taking more time to celebrate the successes. When I get it right. And we celebrate when we get it right.
Yeah.
That's why we can tell y'all about jazz in the Midtown studio, because we got that
Hey,
right.
And we had a conversation with a young man at the studio about placing a road in for the children.
Hmm.
So that's something else that we're going to look into in 2022,
That's super
because
exciting.
a lot of instrument playing and music has been taken out of the schools. And so we're going to, as a group,
Hmm.
put the time and effort to make sure that some of the children, we can't do everybody, but the ones who have a certain interest in learning an instrument, to make sure that they have the ability to do that. So,
Yes.
and that will take time and preparation. It may not happen full out this in 2022, but the roadmap is going to be put together because it's important. And I
It's
think
important.
all the musicians that Dante is a part of would have no problem, doing their part to help the children. So
I will volunteer
yeah.
every musician I have to help the children.
There you go. Right.
No cost, no dollar figure involved. I'll volunteer all of them.
So, if we could put together just one group of children, because they touch more children, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's 10, it's 10. It doesn't have to be 100. We don't have to look at 100. But if we could put a instrument in 10 children's hands that they really want to play, or like me, I didn't want to play the viola. I was like, it was the last instrument left. Okay. But what I learned playing that viola has stayed with me for all of the years of my life, and I'll never forget it. Right. And that's what we want. We want children to have memories in music, literacy, and marketing and media that they'll never forget.
Absolutely.
However, I can help in that effort. I'm more than willing.
Oh, don't worry.
I know.
That was perfect, Donna.
Wait. Hey, LD, I'll call Chris as soon as we get off here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I just think that that's something talk about legacy. The legacy has to be in music, marketing, media, and reading. So we can't forget the children.
No, as Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune says, that we have enriched this nation with our song.
Right.
And every time I think about that part of the quote, I am reminded of A Dante and
Yeah.
how lives are being
Changed.
enriched with song and music. And when I look at different artists across different genres and different cultural backgrounds,
Mhm.
there is something that is undeniably there from Black culture. You know, the influence on music. And many years ago, my uncle and I were having this conversation about pop culture. And he's a historian, he's a professor.
All right. Yeah, he is.
And he said something that has really stuck with me. And this is truly played out. He said that I was talking about how I saw the impact of, Black culture and the influence in different ways. He says, in pop culture, black culture drives pop culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think helping our students, helping young people understand that their ability to read, whatever it is they do, they have to be able to continue the influence,
Yeah.
because it keeps the doors open.
It
It
does.
keeps opening more doors because they have the ability to understand what is potentially on the other side of that door. It does. I have a 5-year-old niece, Ava, and she loves to take out a book and she reads. She reads to me.
Mm.
And I am absolutely thrilled that she does that, because that's something that my mom required that we would do. We
Yes.
had to read back to her, but my niece does it voluntarily. She says, like, Auntie, look, I can read this. Or, phonetically, she sounds things out, if she doesn't understand, and she gets it. She stays with it with maybe sometimes a little help. I'll tell her, no, try that one again.
So
And she stays with it until she gets it.
yeah.
And then she's got this big smile on her face, like, I
Yeah.
did it.
I get it.
I got it.
Yeah. And let's not forget, I know we're going on and on, but let's not forget about how Mr. C was not afraid to bring jazz into the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we thank you for that, because the summer series in Daytona Beach, jazz wise, has never been done. And you could have walked away from that and said, I'm not doing that.
I'm done.
I really wanted to walk away from
No,
it.
you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Let me tell you what.
But because he was literate, he could read the writing on the wall, and he's like, "This is good."
But no, Paula Reed said,
Yeah,
jazz in the hood. I latched right onto that. I'm like, oh, I like that. Jazz in the hood. So that's what we had.
it was wonderful. I think that we don't even know how much it was appreciated, right? Mm-hmm. Because maybe they don't know how to tell us. Yeah, but I will guarantee you that if it's not in part of a summer series in 2022, the community will let everybody know.
Yeah. I will do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, we are so excited about 2022. I know you've heard me say that about 3 or 4 times throughout this, but honestly, I cannot express how much 2022 is just going to be musically fantastic.
Yes.
Through A Dante Production.
Yes.
And so we want you to subscribe to Dante's Den. We want you to subscribe to adanteproduction.com. Once you type that in at the bottom, there is a subscription form right there. Contact us. Go to our blog on adanteproduction.com where we make announcements. Chauncey tells us what's ticking, what makes Dante tick. And there's all kinds of things for you to stay connected to A Dante Production in between concerts. One of those ways is P2V, online concerts where you are able to pay to view P2V. You're able to pay to view concerts. You're able
Yes.
to rent them for 72 hours, play them as many times as you want. Give yourself some great background music to your dinner party, to just you Netflix and chilling or
Right.
whatever it may be. It's there for you. And so we want to say thank you, Ms. Donna Gray Banks of the F.R.E.S.H Book Festival, which you will be able to catch January the 6th through the 8th, 2022, right in Daytona, beginning that Thursday night with the F.R.E.S.H Community Film Festival at the Peabody Auditorium with a special premiere of Returned. A
Historical
sci-fi
moment,
movie.
by the way. Historical. All
Yes.
black cast, all black film, all black sci-fi.
International.
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 Yeah.
And we also want to say thank you, Mr. Chauncey Dunham, for letting us into your den once again.
Not a problem.
We'll be back, and thank you for just offering up some of North Central Florida's best music available. We really thank you. The
Yes.
groups are just proven to be just fantastic. And we're excited about new talent coming online and new talent being showcased. And we'll be back in the den, I'm pretty sure, sometime next month.
Let me say this.
Yes.
I will end with this. I have convinced the divas on the 19th of December, and I didn't even tell L.D. this yet. On the 19th of December, we're going to do the divas. We're going to interview the divas. I'm going to bring them into the studio.
Nice.
And we're going to do something that's less than an hour, but it'll give us a chance to introduce them.
And meet them.
And Donna, you need to be there.
Yeah, I'd love to hear their story. You know, I really would love
you need to
hear
be there.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I will be there.
Yeah.
19 December. Wait, LD, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't say anything.
No, I just wanted to bail out with the divas are coming live. This has been a hard job to get them. It really has. Florida, the market in Florida can be hard and it can be easy. I want who I want. There are a lot of people I can get, but I want who I want. Divas is somebody I wanted. I could have got a lot of people, and I won't name names.
Right.
But I wanted them. So now we have them. Not only do we have them for our anniversary, we got a long-term contract.
Exciting. That's all I can say.
Already did.
Exciting. Exciting.
Yeah. Go ahead, LD. You got it.
All right, everybody.
Take us out of here.
Yeah.
We are signing off tonight from Dante's Den. My name is L.D. Robinson. My colleagues Donna Gray Banks and Mr. Chauncey Dunham of A Dante Production. Be sure to subscribe to Dante's Den YouTube channel so that you can hear some great clips of music, some great covers, and also visit meet some of the artists of A Dante Production. Interviews are there, and so we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Good night.